Yo, what's up, fatties?
What up, fatty boombaladdies? Oh, they're not fat. They're just big boned.
Yeah.
What up, my thick homies? THIICCC. It's Covino and Rich back at our regular time.
What's up, tortas?
I hope you missed us.
Hey, welcome back, buddies. We got a lot to get to today. There's old school baseball blowhards. There's fights in the NFL. There's people getting called fat that aren't.
Midweek major.
Yeah, we got
the biggest
Mike's
stories in pop culture and sports. Mike's Wednesday words of wisdom.
I mean, how are we going to fit this all in, buddy boy?
I don't know. You better zip it, Zippy.
Oh, and your hate for Juan Soto continues?
He's a bum, dude. Covino and Rich.
A bum. That's the hottest player in
Fox
baseball.
Sports. We be rocking out. Let's go.
Yes!
I mean, as a Yankees fan, I'm able to say that. Plus,
That's
I'm
fair.
quoting the great Rocky Balboa. Absolutely. He's like a bum, you know?
He's a bum.
He's like a bum. Absolutely.
Man, we are having fun doing it live from the Fox Sports Radio studio, and I hope you say that to Juan Soto's face if he sneaks into
I
the
don't want to
All-Star
see
game
his
last
stupid
minute.
face. No, he's not there. We made the All-Star team.
We'll
be out there in Atlanta next Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday in for Dan Patrick again, so we hope you join us. And if you missed any of our shows, the past 3 shows, in fact, catch it on the podcast. Search Covino and Rich wherever you stream. We have the best of Dan Patrick there, and good to be back.
In fact, like you said, we'll be filling in for Dan again Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Capital One All-Star Village. That starts Saturday the 12th, goes through Tuesday, July 15th. You can head to the Cobb Galleria for baseball fun, live entertainment, interactive games, buy tickets and all the good stuff at allstargame.com.
All right, so let the Wild Rumpus start. Hope you're having a better day than DJ LeMahieu. Hope you're having a good one.
How do you send a 2-time batting champ to the minors?
I'll tell you how. You just play subpar. Again, all because of injury. A lot of foot and leg injuries with DJ LeMahieu. Not the same guy, and you got to make moves. If you want to compete, you got to make money moves. So
I mean, I guess nothing should surprise anyone, right? I mean, better players have been sent down
yeah.
for quick assignments, right?
Well, we'll talk more about the Yankees and more baseball throughout the day, but we're kicking it off, pun intended, with some football. Patrick Mahomes. Now, we hung out with Mahomes yesterday. Showtime Mahomes trivia every Tuesday here on the Covino and Rich Show. I like Patrick Mahomes. He's just one of those guys that transcends the game. There's a few of them in our lifetime. Regardless of the team they played for, you rooted for them and you liked them. The Ken Griffey Jr.'s of the world, the Michael Jordans of the world. I think Patrick Mahomes is in that company, and he's not even done yet because he's a likable guy. He's not a hateable guy.
I put him in the category of Steph Curry, where the world rooted for him, and then when they get a little too good, you're like, all right, slow down. Like, I used to root for Mahomes until he played my Niners in the Super Bowl and beat him twice, until, Steph Curry was winning back-to-back NBA titles and, started piling them up. Then you're like, all right, you're likable, but take it easy.
The side stories recently is that he got 2 new weapons in the offseason because his wife, Brittany, got some sort of mommy makeover. That was the speculation. But the point is, and I say it respectfully, she looks great. Okay? So that's just an observation. And I'm trying to playfully let you know that she looks toned and fit and great. Let's put it that way. And then recently photographed side by side with his beautiful wife. Like, wow, Mahomes got in good shape. Look, he's got a semblance of an ab. He's in good shape. He's got a new hairdo. He got rid of the alpaca haircut, the broccoli boy look that he invented. I give him credit for it. He popularized the burst fade with the broccoli pompadour.
That's alpaca.
Now he's high and tight and looking fresh. And we're giving all the props in the world to Patrick Mahomes the past few days based on these stupid stories. But according to fellow colleague, and I say this respectfully, iHeartRadio podcaster Kevin Keatsman, he has issues with Patrick Mahomes. He says vacation photos are popping up of Mahomes, and he's fat. Take a listen.
Vacation photos are popping up of Patrick Mahomes, and he's fat. He's an embarrassment.
What?
You're a $500 million quarterback. Dude, you're fat. Your belly would be fat at my pool, hanging out with us, 60-year-olds, okay? My skin's flabbier than yours. I get it. Stop. Stop the fast food. Do a sit-up. Do something. You can't just run through your NFL career eating Taco Bell all the time and door dashing fried chicken, which he loves. It's time, dude. It's time.
Now, as a radio fan, do I find it entertaining?
Wait a second. I love fried chicken, too.
I know. Is
I
he
love
fat
I love
shaming
Taco
here?
Bell too.
No, but like I love the loudmouth sports broadcaster that we grew up listening to, like a Ben Maller, Danny G, your boy. Like I love just him ranting on everybody. Even if I disagree, I just love hearing his banter of
That's good sauce.
him dumping on LeBron or whatever the case may be. And this feels to me like just a classic hate parade of Mahomes. And I'm okay with it. But let's be real about it. Patrick Mahomes is fat? On what planet?
I mean, not fat. He's not fit though.
I'm not. Does he need to be?
No.
Name me.
He's
tell
not
me.
cut.
All right, give me one ripped quarterback, bro. In our history of great quarterbacks, were any of them ripped?
I mean,
I can't think of any ripped
the
quarterback.
ones that aren't necessarily
Like Tim Tebow.
They're not necessarily.
Okay, name me one ripped good quarterback. You know,
I can't.
It's not part of the game.
Oh,
and
get
is he
burned.
fat? No.
Like maybe Jalen Hurts with his shirt off is like ripped, but I don't know.
Because here's the point.
He's getting the job done.
If he's fat, we're all fat. And that's BS. I feel like this gives the same vibe as the slob that's criticizing pageant models as they walk down the runway. Like, oh, yeah, her ass could use a little work.
Meanwhile, he's dipping chips in salsa that he has in his belly button.
He's licking his fingers from all the buffalo wings. Like, give me a break.
Flexibility.
She should work out.
He has crumbs in his beard, but he's criticizing.
As the kiddos say, it's giving those vibes. It's giving hater. And, I think it's funny and it's great entertainment.
Yeah.
But my goodness, if we want to fat shame and give a complex, and I'm not trying to be all sensitive, but I've seen pictures of him, and he's far from fat. Is he ripped? Absolutely not. Is he in better shape than he was? Yes. So why are we not giving credit where it's due?
I'm not defending this jabroni on the radio. Listen, same with you.
His name is Kevin Keatsman.
Same like you. I find ridiculous hot takes funny and entertaining. But,
yeah, they're great.
And I find a good fat joke entertaining. Who doesn't, right? I mean, you can't be too politically correct. I mean,
Boy, are you fat.
You know what's back? By the way, you know what's back? Certain things are making their way back.
Uh-huh.
Like fatso is like a big buzz term nowadays.
Fatso?
Yeah, whatever. Fatso. That's sort of making a comeback.
But listen, I think the guy went overboard, but there is a
Do
sentiment.
a sit-up? He's a professional athlete.
There is a sentiment that I don't agree with him, but when you see guys like Patrick Mahomes who are at the top of their game and you see him with his shirt off and you're like, oh, you don't hit the gym as much as one might think, because that's not what the skill requires. Being the best quarterback in the NFL doesn't require you to have a six-pack and chiseled pecs. Not everyone's going to look like, remember Will Levis came out and he almost got criticized because he was too ripped for a
Performance
quarterback.
matters. Have you taken a good look at Alejandro Kirk? And I could say that because I'm a Yankees fan. I don't care about the Blue Jays. But this guy's a little meatball. And as a Vato Loco forever, I understand that, there's not a lot of ripped Mexicans because we like tacos too much.
Yeah.
But the point is, it doesn't matter because he performs well. Patrick Mahomes is one of the best in the game. And what's the old saying, Rich? People who live in glass houses shouldn't throw chanclas or however it goes.
I think that's it.
I don't know how it goes. But I don't even know what Kevin Keatsman looks like. But he better be Johnny Ripplepeck's Slim Goodbody if he's throwing punches and words at Patrick Mahomes like that on a national platform.
I think of other stellar athletes that I've seen shirtless, not on purpose. It's not like I'm Google searching it, but there's a few guys that I remember thinking, wow, he's dominant, and with his shirt off, he doesn't look much better than me. And you know what it is? Because you're a regular guy, so you assume, well, to be elite, you got to look better than me. And the guy that hit a game-tying home run last night, Mets went on to win thanks to Polar Bear Pete Alonso, who looks like a regular, beefy gym dude, but that has a belly a little bit. One of my favorite heavyweight champions of the last 25 years. There's only one. Tyson Fury is soft, but the strongest mother effer you know.
So to me, it doesn't matter.
And then I remember in the 90s, maybe if not for steroid allegations and some stuff he did, might have been considered one of the greatest baseball players of all time. A-Rod with his shirt off was always sort of a little pudgy.
He's in good shape now.
No, but I'm saying as a player,
Yeah, as a player.
Remember all the shortstops were on that cover? I was like, yeah, A-Rod's not as cool as I
but
thought.
let's not lose focus here. Is Patrick Mahomes fat? I have to say absolutely not. Fat? Patrick Mahomes is fat? If he's fat, 85% of our audience is fat.
Well, according to his doctor, he's obese because when we all go to our checkup, they call all of us obese.
No, it goes overweight, then obese, then morbidly obese.
By the way,
Hey, speak for yourself.
you go to the doctor's office and they'll be like, "Oh, what are you, 6 foot? Oh, well, you're supposed to be 140 pounds." Like, what?
140 pounds?
1941?
Get out of here. Look, can everybody get in shape? Probably a little more, yes. Will it help Patrick Mahomes' game? Maybe a little bit, but he's not fat. In fact, he did get in better shape. And yes, he talked a big game about getting in better shape for the season. I think he's shown great improvement. I just find it odd that this guy's calling him fat. And then he's putting this in people's minds that Patrick Mahomes is fat. I'm here to tell you, I've seen the pictures. He's not fat at all.
I think there's a misconception.
He's just not ripped.
There's a misconception that to be a great, as you would say, 3 syllables, athlete, to be a great athlete.
Sounds like you just said it. No one told you to talk like me.
Athlete. To be a great athlete, being a physical specimen with your shirt off isn't part of the equation that makes you a pitcher like Jacob deGrom. It doesn't make you a quarterback
you think Greg Maddux
like
was
Patrick
ripped?
Mahomes. It doesn't make you
Doesn't mean anything.
a shooter like Steph Curry. These guys probably look like they have your typical mild dad bod where they're a little softer than you would think, but they are the elite of the elite. Not everyone looks like DK Metcalf. Not everyone looks like Antonio Brown back in the day or LeBron.
Those are just genetics.
Like,
Look what Andy Ruiz did to Anthony Joshua. It means diddly squat.
Yeah, we've seen nerds like Oral Hershiser dominate.
Exactly. And again, you're losing focus. Patrick Mahomes is not fat.
I'm losing focus. You're losing focus.
Because that's the point. That's fat.
Nothing's
if
fat.
that's considered fat, everybody has to second guess where they are in life right now. Because if that's fat, then I'm really fat.
Well, I think flexibility is more important at his position. We've seen more than once Mahomes get crunched with his leg bend in half, and the announcers are like, he's not coming back in the game, and he trots back out onto the field.
We actually have a soundbite of that.
If you watch Quarterback, which, by the way, I haven't started the new one yet,
Oh, it's
but
good.
I
So good.
can't wait. I know Kirk Cousins already getting people talking. But one of the previous seasons, Patrick Mahomes, what I remember taking away from that Netflix documentary, that docuseries, was that in the gym, he's not focusing on bench press and pec deck. He's doing all these exercises where it looks like he's being bent in half. He's training for the job he needs to do. Like, you ever see someone, it says train for the job you need to do, and it's someone doing an exercise specifically designed for their position. Is
that why you're talking in the hallway all the time?
I'm training.
He's training. Yeah, let me read this again. Let me read what Kevin Keatsman of iHeart said. And I got to give him props for doing good radio, but don't buy into any of this. That's my point here. Did he get our attention? Are we talking about it? Yeah, props. You're doing great radio. Kevin Keatsman, dude, you're fat. In regards to Patrick Mahomes, because when you read it, it's worse. Your belly would be fat at my pool hanging out with us 60-year-olds. Really? You think Patrick Mahomes looks like these beer-guzzling 60-year-olds in the pool? I say not even close.
That's funny.
Stop the fast food. Do a sit-up. Do something. There's no training to this man.
Mm-hmm.
I don't understand it. Here's the one thing I do agree with, actually. All right? If we're going to talk about all these things I don't, here's the one thing I do agree with. He says he's not a kid anymore. You can't just run through your NFL career eating Taco Bell all the time. It's time, dude. It's time. You do hit a point in life. How old is Mahomes right now? He's in his later 20s now. So how old is he?
I mean,
the point in life that everybody hits, and it's an adjustment period, is, wow, I can't eat like I did in my early 20s. My brother's at that point right now. My brother's 32.
29. He's almost 30.
Yeah, my brother's 32, 33. But my brother eats like he's 25 still. Remember those late night runs and you didn't care because you're young, you birthed it off like that? You do have to make those adjustments in life. And if that's where Patrick Mahomes is, that's fair. That's a fair assessment. But to say he's fat, that is just so not true.
He's got another decade of abusing his body, at least.
Yeah.
He's 29. He can eat Taco Bell for another 8 years.
But he does have a responsibility as a professional athlete. Of course. No doubt. So I do feel like there's some truth there, but it's also like, you know, it's like a false headline. Like, Patrick Mahomes is not fat, guys.
But you know who is? Debo Samuel.
I mean, yeah, according to Terrell Owens.
According to T.O., who, by the way,
according
T.O.
to Terrell Owens said he's a few nuggets away.
Terrell Owens, one of those guys that not everyone needs to look like him, but he was a specimen. The type of guy with his shirt off, you're like, oh, my God, what does he do? Not everyone's going to look like that. It's genetics. It's how you train. Sometimes you're more prone to injury when you're ripped up like
Big
that.
Ben Roethlisberger that get that type of criticism? Did Babe Ruth get that criticism? No.
Do you think Eli Manning, when he was beating Tom Brady in the Super Bowl, with his shirt off, he probably looked like your relatively fit uncle?
Tom Brady was never ripped until right now.
To be fair, Covino, Babe Ruth never got any criticism.
Yeah, everybody loved the Babe.
The Babe, see?
Yeah, the Babe was having sex with my wife, see?
But he's a good fella.
Oh,
I
man.
bless it.
Oh, but it's the Babe.
I endorse this.
Yeah, they loved the Babe for everything he did. So anyway,
The Babe stole my girlfriend. What an honor.
when you're making these statements on any iHeartRadio podcast
Or any
millions
podcast, for
or
that
any
matter.
podcast, but especially, it's the company we work for, millions of,
Why you kissing ass?
because it's true. It's millions of people are listening.
Yeah.
So you got all these people who don't live the social media life necessarily or per se. They got this image of, man, Patrick Mahomes must be really fat. He's in better shape than he was last year.
But what's interesting, the point you made was if you hadn't seen the recent pictures where he was hanging with his beautiful wife on a boat with some players and friends, and you just heard that podcaster, you might be like, oh, wow, he's really coming into this season.
And then you repeat that at the barbershop. Yeah, I don't know about the Chiefs this
I
season.
heard Mahomes got fat.
I heard on the radio, this podcast, he's fat. And people are like, okay. So, I don't know. If he's fat, we're all fat. And I refuse to admit that.
If he's fat, I'm morbidly obese.
Yeah. And I'm not admitting that. No way. No how. But do you have to make adjustments right around where he's at? Yep.
Besides podcasting, he is a morning host on KCMO Talk Radio.
Where?
Kansas City's Talk.
He's in Kansas City.
Yeah.
I'm looking him up right now, man.
I don't know. I mean, Kansas City.
I would understood this if he was based out of Denver or Las Vegas or L.A., right? Rivals of the Chiefs.
This is his hometown guy.
Yeah.
Kevin Keatsman, radio host.
Okay, he did what you wanted. You're doing what he wanted.
This guy.
You're playing right into it.
This guy. I'm just kidding. Hey, no one ever said radio guys had to look a certain way. But, hey, great radio. I tip my hat to his podcast, but I don't believe a word he said. There's no way he thinks that Patrick Mahomes is fat.
There are players on the teams we all root for that show up to training camp or spring training, and you're like, ooh, they didn't seem to put the work in the offseason. But that's not the case from what you're seeing. Mahomes seems motivated. He seems a little embarrassed that he lost the Super Bowl last year in such a fashion.
Yeah, and I'm sure his wife is keeping him on his toes.
I think if
As
anything,
your wife gets hotter, you don't want to be the guy bringing down the stock of the relationship. And Brittany Mahomes looks good. She does.
I think it's a good attention grabber, but there's a hell of a lot of athletes that aren't chiseled, as Iowa Sam said. Like you don't need to be cut.
Name me,
ripped.
for real.
You said chiseled. I said cut.
Name me one cut quarterback, like who's really cut, noticeably cut, and skinny doesn't count.
I would say a guy that isn't even going to start this year, Will Levis. Remember, he showed up with his sleeveless shirt, and even Cowherd's like, that's not the look you want for your quarterback.
See, exactly. You got to be flexible and mobile. What's up, Perfect?
I think we're focusing on the wrong thing because dad bod kind of implies like, oh no, he's got a belly, but like, I don't care about what his belly looks like. That's probably blubber that'll help stop when he's from injury when he gets sacked by some giant edge rusher.
Mass,
but like,
girth.
no, I care about how fast he's going to run. I care about what his arms are going to look like, and if he can chuck it, he can chuck it. Like this, like what we need him to look like he's going to be in Mr. Universe just for your quarterback. Like no, come on.
I'm thinking
because
of
they're vanity muscles. We love them.
Vanity
because we call them
muscles.
vanity muscles.
That's a great point because
he's not running the 4x400 here.
I'm thinking of who does everyone love? Everyone loves like a Josh Allen or Joe Burrow.
Everyone
those
loves
guys,
Amaya Papaya on Love Island.
And they love her.
Yeah.
But honestly, you don't want your quarterback to look like one of the dudes on Love Island with abs because they're 20 and they have vanity muscles. Like Perfett said, vanity.
No, or actually, I was saying when he brought up Tim Tebow, his muscles got in the way of his arm.
Yes.
Like the way he threw wasn't even
he was
natural.
just too much of a big muscle himself. Like he didn't have the flexibility and like the.
So that's why, like, as a guy, am I a Chiefs fan for the record? No. Do I like Patrick Mahomes? Yeah, I think he's a good dude. I don't think he deserves that sort of criticism. He's one of those guys that I find to be a super talent, and I don't think his weight has anything to do with his performance.
Have a new excuse now, Rich, when it's time to go to the gym and don't feel like it. Oh, babe, I got to throw the Nerf football to our little son.
Yeah, I can't get too ripped,
Can't
honey.
mess up my throwing motion.
What do you think? I'm trying to get ripped and not be able to throw?
Honey, I'm trying to have a quarterback body, not a ripped body, okay?
Yeah, quarter.
Hello.
It's not even dad bod. It's quarterback bod.
Well, I mean,
That's what I'm
I
going
keep
for.
thinking about all the guys in the NFL that historically have been great quarterbacks. Tom Brady, Joe Montana. Like with these guys, Peyton Manning seemed a little cut, like he seemed a little cardio, but he wasn't like chiseled.
He had
He's
abs on his forehead.
Like Aaron Rodgers is just a thin guy with a little muscle tone. Like none of these guys are Michael B. Jordan with their shirt off, right? I mean, like, come on.
And Patrick Mahomes got rings, dude. You're crazy criticizing him like that. So that's the story. Again, that's the story according to Kevin Keatsman.
I'm only asking.
Are you fat?
I'm only asking you because you are the number one Yankee fan I know.
Yeah.
And because it's not a Google search of mine like it is probably for you, but what does Aaron Judge look like shirtless? Is he chiseled or is he just a tall, big dude?
Want to see my wallpaper on my phone?
Yeah, I was going to
Hold on,
say.
There it is. He's got really dark nipples,
but
which is weird.
Is Judge one of those guys that's like
He's got
chiseled or
pepperoni
what?
slices. That's a really great. I don't know. Yeah.
Would it be
Because
weird
you
if
know
I
why?
search? Would it be weird
Hold
if I search
on.
on our company computer Aaron Judge shirtless?
These are fun conversations, and we like to have them, right? So thanks again to Kevin here for the fun.
I just typed it in. I'm going to blame Iowa Sam.
But we judge sports on performance, guys. Performance. Patrick Mahomes was in the Super Bowl. Performance. Does vanity matter? Hell yeah, it does. It does to me. But what matters more in sports? Performance.
You want to know the truth? I just looked it up. He was on vacation with his girlfriend. Aaron Judge doesn't look better than you or I with our shirt off. Look, like a regular guy. He's a regular guy, but he's just Aaron Judge. You don't need to be.
He's got big arms, though.
Yeah, AI says, yes, Aaron Judge is considered ripped.
I don't know, man.
Says his physique is often commented on, with many noting his impressive overall strength. He is frequently described as having a jacked or ripped physique.
See, I don't think so.
AI has lower expectations than Rich, I guess.
You know who's jacked? A guy that gets hurt all the time because he's jacked, and that's Giancarlo Stanton. That's a guy who is chiseled like an Adonis. But what happens to Giancarlo Stanton
Overtraining,
every
yeah.
freaking 2 weeks? The guy is injured because he.
Yeah, he's like glass.
You know.
Same thing with me. Yeah.
Yeah, same with Spawn.
Yeah, that's why I'm always injured.
So your thoughts
Yeah, Spot. So
on that?
ever since you started working out hard, Spot, every day you're hobbling in here with your shoulder or knee or something. You're the Giancarlo Stanton of producers.
Yeah.
There's no going back, baby.
Go back to the pec deck.
What do you go back to? The physical therapist every week?
Actual weights.
Did you say pec deck?
I did.
Yeah.
All right.
Iowa Sam's like, was I supposed to bleep that? What was Anyway,
I'll allow it.
your thoughts on Mahomes, the fat conversation.
For the record, he's listed 6'2", 225.
And by the way, I'm not saying that Aaron Judge is not in shape. I'm saying he's not the guy with his shirt off where it's like, wow, Aaron Judge has a six-pack. He's just an in-shape guy. That's all. And
Because guess what? They're not bodybuilders.
Yes.
Give me a break.
It's not Mr. Universe
Is
over
he
here.
supposed to be Mr. Yeah, exactly. Is he supposed to be like Arnold?
not to hammer this point home, but when we were little kids, was Dale Murphy, Keith Hernandez, were these guys, I'm trying to think of like was Ozzie Smith, were these guys ripped or were they just like thin baseball players?
Oh, those guys were built like our dads in the 70s. The slender look.
So your thoughts, and we'll get into.
I thought Ron Guidry was my dad when I was a kid. Same dude.
Speaking of baseball, this is a story that I know you and I completely disagree on. It has to do with Rafael Devers, or as Will Clark calls him, Devers. We'll get to that. Plus midweek major.
Legend Will Clark?
No, get out of here. We'll get to that. Plus midweek major with Spot, and we're going to give away prizes with Mike's Words of Wisdom. That's all coming up. COVINO and Rich right here on Fox Sports Radio.
Now, if you're looking for your next job, you know it can be a lonely process. Let Express Employment Professionals be your one connection to finding a job that fits. Job seekers at Express Employment Pros ranked Express Best of Staffing in 2025 for helping them finding them a job. With more than 870 locations, visit expresspros.com to find an office near you.
With Express, you have your own local recruiter as you advocate for job searches, and job seekers never pay a fee. Every year, hundreds of thousands of people find meaningful work through their local Express office. Whether you're looking for a role in logistics, like warehouse positions, forklift operators, or customer service jobs, Express has you covered. Express also hires roles for IT, general labor, and grounds maintenance.
And Express even has access to jobs that aren't posted. So visit expresspros.com to get connected. Find your local Express office today at expresspros.com. Remember, there's no fees for job seekers. Let Express help you take the next step in your career. Visit expresspros.com today.
Wake up, it's two pros and a cup of Joe, Fox Sports Radio.
You ready? Yes.
I'm Colin Cowherd. This is The Herd.
You are listening to The Dan Patrick Show.
It's the odd couple. You know what time it is. Let's get it.
Fox Sports Radio. Bigger, bolder, and better than anyone in the game. Fox Sports Radio is the #1 sports audio network.
Diverse, fun, entertaining, and driven by the big sports topics of the day.
They had to bolster the offensive line, which they did.
That game was incredible. You are wrong.
The passion and emotional, the visceral connection is so much greater in radio than anything else available today.
We have a very special connection with our audience, our listeners. People feel that friendship.
And I appreciate y'all so. I love it.
It's all for you. Thank you.
I'm your favorite fan.
Thank
I
you.
love you. You're very talented. You're the best.
Thanks for taking my call.
Sure.
Great show.
Thank you, Joe. You sound like Joe Pesci.
How am I funny to you?
I can't help but notice that the W-2s for the quarterback look a lot higher.
That's because we're worth it.
You gotta be kidding.
He never was an elite quarterback.
Unbelievable.
Yes.
LeBron James is a legend.
No, he's not. He complains all the time.
You say Brady's the greatest quarterback of all time, but Eli Manning beat him twice. Wrong. Wrong.
For 25 years, Fox Sports Radio has dominated the sports audio landscape with the biggest talent and the best programming available.
We talk sports and we have fun doing it. We talk about life.
Sports radio is where you go after the games are over, and then the discussion begins.
If the Chiefs win,
Sorry, Patrick Mahomes here. What do you mean by if the Chiefs win?
It is live. It is unscripted. No other medium can touch that.
And that's what makes it special. Yes.
Who wants that?
Bigger, bolder, better. We are Fox Sports Radio.
Yeah.
Wake up, it's two pros and a cup of Joe, Fox Sports Radio.
You ready? Yes.
I'm Colin Cowherd. This is The Herd.
You are listening to The Dan Patrick Show.
It's the odd couple. You know what time it is. Let's get it.
Fox Sports Radio. Bigger, bolder, and better than anyone in the game. Fox Sports Radio is the #1 sports audio network.
Diverse, fun, entertaining, and driven by the big sports topics of the day.
They had to bolster the offensive line, which they did.
That game was incredible. You are wrong.
The passion and emotional, the visceral connection is so much greater in radio than anything else available today.
We have a very special connection with our audience, our listeners. People feel that friendship.
And I appreciate y'all so. I love it.
it's all for you. Thank you.
I'm your favorite fan.
Thank
I
you.
love you. You're very talented. You're the best.
Thanks for taking my call.
Sure.
Great show.
Thank you, Joe. You sound like Joe Pesci.
How am I funny to you?
I
can't help but notice that the W-2s for the quarterback look a lot higher.
That's because we're worth it.
You gotta be kidding. He never was an elite quarterback.
Unbelievable.
Yes.
LeBron James is a legend.
No, he's not. He complains all the time.
You say Brady's the greatest quarterback of all time, but Eli Manning beat him twice. Wrong. Wrong.
For 25 years, Fox Sports Radio has dominated the sports audio landscape
With the biggest talent and the best programming available.
We talk sports and we have fun doing it. We talk about life.
Sports radio is where you go after the games are over, and then the discussion begins.
If the Chiefs win,
Sorry, Patrick Mahomes here. What do you mean by if the Chiefs win?
It is live. It is unscripted. No other medium can touch that.
And that's what makes it special.
Yes.
Who wants that?
bigger, bolder, better. We are Fox Sports Radio.
Yeah.
Wake up, it's two pros and a cup of Joe, Fox Sports Radio.
You ready? Yes.
I'm Colin Cowherd. This is The Herd.
You are listening to The Dan Patrick Show.
It's the odd couple. You know what time it is.
Let's get it. Fox Sports Radio.
Bigger, bolder, and better than anyone in the game.
Yeah. CNR rock the house. I don't know if you heard that. I don't care what any other host says. We rock the house.
All right, fatty.
The fat boys are back.
Boy,
and you know
are you
we will never
fat.
be whack. We're the fattest show in all the land. Steve COVINO, 5'10" 3/4", coming in at 187, bro.
Yeah. Listen, dude. According to this guy, they called Mahomes fat as they do the roll call on DP, right? Hey, it's Rich, 6 foot, 190. I guess I'm fat according to this guy, too. Calling Patrick Mahomes fat. I mean, then I guess we're all tubs of goo.
It's funny, though.
But you know
It's
what? He
funny
got our
conversation.
attention, and it was
I'm not,
funny.
Not mad about it at all. I'm
No.
just trying to take a real spin on a hot take. Like, there's nothing fat about Patrick Mahomes.
No,
Is
but
he the physical specimen of awesome? No, but his performance matters most here, and he's not fat.
But you know what is? Cal Raleigh's ass.
Cal Raleigh's ass? I was going to say your head. That was my
head.
second answer.
But you know what? We did think about how some of the greatest athletes over the last 20, 30, 40 years, not known for being chiseled Adonises. The Tyson Furies of the world, your home run champs, your Super Bowl winning quarterbacks, your NBA MVPs. And not necessarily ripped dudes. They're just great athletes. You don't need vanity muscles. But what do you think? Mahomes, is he fat? David in Kansas, what's up, man?
Hi there.
Well,
I love your show, but I just like to say that Patrick Mahomes has a dad bod because he's a father figure.
I mean, he is a.
Oh, jeez. Sam, play the rim shot on him.
Why don't they call it a father figure? Oh. But I listen,
I like that.
I like your joke, buddy.
I knew you would like that.
Don't let
Sam.
Rich ain't the king of comedy. He's not going to make fun of you. Danny G can, though.
David's going on tour.
David's the man.
Yeah, he's gonna be at Chuckles tomorrow night.
Appreciate you.
Colin in New York, what's up, buddy boy?
Okay, I mean, tell me if you guys disagree with this. I think that any NFL team, let alone $500 million, would pay $1 billion for one ring. Tell me I'm wrong.
Probably.
That's why when people mock a team for going all in, Colin, my thought is, yeah, go for it. Like, there are times where, like, well, the Mets are going to go all in on this, or the Niners, or Danny, the Raiders. If your team goes all in and they win one, that one championship in any sport could get that fan base by for decades.
Yeah, we saw the Rams go all in by trading all their draft picks, remember, and making all those trades. And people are like, man, they don't care about what's coming down the road. And that was their thought. Let's just get a ring.
If you told
every
me
team in the NFL would take Patrick Mahomes' fat ass in a heartbeat.
No, but he's right, though. At most teams, that's a fact. If take any team in the NFL or Major League Baseball, if you told me the Mets, my team, would give up every prospect they ever had in the future, like their best arms and bats in the minors
for a guarantee.
For I don't know, schemes at the All-Star break, but that means the Mets win a World Series. But they suck for 10 years. Who cares? Teams and fan bases.
Especially now. It's a win now life.
You just want one, right? You want one. Don in Kansas. What's up, Don? COVINO and Rich.
Hey, thank you. I guess I got to redeem the state from that last call comparison. But, Keachman got let go by one of the radio stations there in Kansas City because I believe he got crossways with the Chiefs. I think there's a little bit of sour grapes that come into play with that. There's also the idea, to get a new audience, you got to be controversial. But everybody knows, how can a fat guy scramble for 20, 30 yards, regularly in the game?
Yeah, of course, man. Of course, there's clearly sour grapes with this guy in the Chiefs, especially when you live in a market like Kansas City. And, the Royals won a World Series, in 2015 against my Mets.
I just also find it odd, Rich, that someone would come hard on Patrick Mahomes like that without some sour grapes, because he's just not one of those guys that I feel like warrants that type of criticism.
But not only that, we're talking about Patrick Mahomes, the guy that brought glory to a city that, again, has had a couple moments of greatness over the last decades. But that Chiefs team, they're a dynasty. They should be licking his feet.
And I like to think of myself as a likable fella, not trying to rub anybody the wrong way or cause any controversy. I don't know what that guy's problem is.
A fat guy would probably eat sour grapes and scramble eggs, 20 eggs. Hey, come on now.
Sam's going on tour with David in Kansas.
You want to lick his feet? Barbecue sauce?
It's a special called the New Kings of Comedy. It's Iowa Sam.
Yeah, that dude, David in Kansas.
David in Kansas and D.L. Hughley.
Let's say hi to Andy in Rhode Island. Andy, you're on with COVINO and Rich.
What up, Andy? Andy! What up, man?
Oh, no.
Come on, bro. You're breaking the flow.
Andy.
Should I tell him more food jokes?
No, please don't.
Yeah.
I think Andy was fed up with you.
And by the way, I never discourage anyone's bad joke. I love bad jokes. Keep them coming.
I see what we did there. Fed up. Yeah.
Fed.
So
keep them coming.
Patrick Mahomes is clearly fed up, too, according to this story. Now, we have lots to get to, Rich.
Yeah, you said it, buddy.
Your boy Juan Soto.
Why you got such a vibe about that?
I got sour grapes, too, about Juan Soto.
So we'll get to Juan Soto. We're going to get to
admit it.
We're going to get to some NFL stuff. NBA got some news in the offseason. A lot of people spending money for a summer league game. So we'll talk about that. But coming up next, there's a story, and it has to do with an old veteran blowhard and a stubborn, arguably lazy MLB star. I don't know whose side you're taking this. COVINO and I are completely divided on Rafael Devers and Will Clark. We're going to get to that. But first, let's go to Profet for an update. What's up, Chris?
Hi, guys. Let's start with some day baseball going on right now. Brewers just walked off the Dodgers in extra innings. Jackson Chourio with the game-winning hit, giving Milwaukee the sweep over the L.A. Dodgers here as we get closer to the All-Star break.
I do wonder if teams like the Dodgers look at other potential playoff teams like, ooh, do the Brewers have our number? Because my first thought was like, I wouldn't mind the Brewers making a wild card run and getting rid of you guys in the playoffs, Danny G.
Yeah, the Dodgers are dealing with Teoscar Hernandez and Edman injured and pitchers injured, and that closer needs to go now. He had his shot.
We never make these excuses for any other team. I'm sorry. We never make these excuses for
these
a lot
two
of
have been
teams
talking about their teams for the past 2 weeks.
I know. No one will ever make an excuse for the Tigers or for the Cardinals or for the Cubs. We just have to be like, ooh, what's happening with them? They're getting cold. Ooh.
Yep.
Speaking of the Tigers, middle of the second inning, Rays with a 2-run lead over Detroit. Phillies in the bottom of the seventh inning with a 4-run lead over the Giants. You mentioned a little bit earlier, the New York Yankees did designate DJ LeMahieu for assignment. He still owed some money on his contract, $15 million in 2026. It'll be interesting to see how that plays out. Earlier at Wimbledon, Novak Djokovic defeated Flavio Cobolli in 4 sets, moving to his 14th semifinal appearance at Wimbledon. That means he has surpassed Roger Federer for the most appearances in semifinals at Wimbledon in history. He is going to taking on Jannik Sinner, who defeated the American Ben Shelton in 3 sets. On the women's side, Iga Swiatek moves on to the semifinals on the women's side for the first time in her career, defeating Give me a second. Ludmila Samsonova in 2 sets.
Sounds hot.
That was good.
I'm practicing some European flair here.
I like it.
And finally, Club World Cup semifinal, all Paris Saint-Germain 4-0 over Real Madrid. All right, guys, back to you.
Thank you, Profet.
Thanks, buddy.
I'm looking at DJ LeMahieu's stats, and he's the guy who used to bet 300 like it was nothing.
His famous stat was he won a batting title in both leagues.
Yeah, batted 348 with Colorado.
Solid hitter. Again, foot injuries, leg injuries set him back. He's never been the same player since.
He batted 364 a couple years back with the Yanks. But when you designate a guy, I thought he was batting like 208. Batting 266, which is...
He went on a recent tear. Remember, he hasn't played much.
So I don't think the book is written on DJ LeMahieu yet.
But
maybe
again,
a little reset.
How many games did he play? He hasn't played that many games.
Okay, that's fair. He's had 128 at-bats, so not a ton. All right, we got more Covino and Rich, and we are going to fight a little about baseball a bit. Will Clark, Rafael Devers. If you don't know the story, we'll explain next right here on Fox Sports Radio.
It's Covino and Rich on Fox Sports Radio. Are you ready?
Yes! We talk about pop culture, we talk about sports, we talk about life.
It's a friendship on the radio.
When you talk about the best athlete in the world, you're probably thinking Jim Thorpe, right?
I'm thinking
joking.
Bo Jackson.
I'd have to throw myself at the age of 12 into the conversation.
You are the home run champion. When you find the commonality between sports and life, those analogies and conversations are the best. You were dating some girl, and you were like, hey, babe, let's watch The Sixth Sense. Her mom walked in. Can you believe he was dead the whole time?
I wanted to get up.
Well, slow down, Dana White.
I don't want to say. It's never boring.
If the Chiefs win,
sorry, Patrick Mahomes here. What do you mean by if the Chiefs win?
Our friendship is real. It's authentic. You can't fake the funk.
we're the type of guys you'd want to hang out with at a sports bar. Best way to pick someone up at a bar?
Yeah.
Go up to a cute girl and say, oh, look at that bozo over there. And I point to you. We could make fun of each other, poke each other a little bit.
I call him Blubber Lips, Rich Davis, because he never stops talking.
He thinks he's the Mexican Fonz.
Yeah.
At any point, he's wearing a chain. You have a chain on?
Always.
Of course he has a chain on.
That's like asking me if I'm wearing cologne right now. Of course I am. We take a lot of pride in being inclusive and interactive on our show. Just the more the merrier.
Josh, Covino thinks that every man should own a leather jacket.
I only wear vegan leather.
Can you believe this guy? I can't believe this guy. We have a very special connection with our audience, our listeners. People feel that friendship.
And I appreciate your show. I love it.
It's all for you. Thank you.
Mike Tyson, Covino, loves to just challenge us with random Mike Tyson trivia.
Which accomplished celebrity purchased my sprawling Connecticut 50th date?
I'm going to go 50 Cent.
You are absolutely correct. 50 Cent. I love his song.
You can't schedule a big event during a big sports moment.
My family member scheduled their wedding the same night as a Julio Cesar Chavez fight. Everyone was glued to that fight instead of doing the electric slide.
This is weak.
Unbelievable. You're very tricky.
America, you got sports, you got fun, you got us.
Covino and Rich.
We're crushing it.
It's Covino and Rich on Fox Sports Radio. Are you ready?
Yes! We talk about pop culture, we talk about sports, we talk about life.
It's a friendship on the radio. When you talk about the best athlete in the world, you're probably thinking Jim Thorpe, right?
I'm thinking Bo Jackson.
I'd have to throw myself at the age of 12 into the conversation.
You are the home run champion. When you find the commonality between sports and life, those analogies and conversations are the best.
You were dating some girl, and you were like, "Hey, babe, let's watch The Sixth Sense." Her mom walked in. "Can you believe he was dead the whole time?"
I wanted to get up.
Well, slow down, Dana White.
I don't want to say It's never boring.
If the Chiefs win.
Sorry, Patrick Mahomes here. What do you mean by if the Chiefs win?
Our friendship is real. It's authentic. You can't fake the fun.
We're the type of guys you'd want to hang out with at a sports bar. Best way to pick someone up at a bar?
Yeah.
Go up to a cute girl and say, "Oh, look at that bozo over there," and I point to you. We could make fun of each other, poke each other a little bit.
I call him Blubber Lips, Rich Davis, because he never stops talking.
He thinks he's the Mexican Fonz.
Yeah.
At any point, he's wearing a chain. You have a chain on?
Always.
Of course he has a chain on.
That's like asking me if I'm wearing cologne right now. Of course I am. We take a lot of pride in being inclusive and interactive on our show. Just the more the merrier.
Josh, Covino thinks that every man should own a leather jacket.
I only wear vegan leather.
Can you believe this guy?
I can't believe this guy. We have a very special connection with our audience, our listeners.
Covino and
People feel
Rich on Fox Sports Radio. I was just looking at the Dodgers losing 6 in a row. And you know what it just proves, Covino? Mets, Yankees, Dodgers, Cubs, Phillies, whatever team you root for, baseball's such a fickle, long season that even the best teams look like horse crap once in a while. Like just when we were like, man, the Mets and Yankees were cold, now the Mets are heating up again. But your Dodgers, who I thought looked unbeatable, are 6 in a row now. They lost. So
yeah, cold, out of sync. The next man up thing is not working for them right now.
I really feel like baseball.
Yeah, there's injuries. All teams have injuries. You got to step up and get over it.
Baseball is such a, in my mind, like a momentum vibe game. Like if there's a sense like, we're cold, like it's contagious, as Covino's pointed out. Like losing and winning in those moments, like.
But you know what? That's why you got to have money in the bank. They had such a big lead in the NL West. They still have a 4.5 game lead.
No, true that. You ain't kidding. And speaking of baseball, we're going to fight about baseball in a second, but I want to bring up something that happened last night. Covino, you somehow missed this highlight. It's not our play of the day because we're reserving the play of the day for something even cooler. But did you see that inside the park walk-off home run? And I loved it even more because the Giants beat Philadelphia.
I mean, I saw it just now on PTI, and I'm like, what the hell? How'd I miss that?
Yeah,
we were out late last night.
There was, if you've been to San Francisco, where the Giants play, might be the greatest, one of the top 5 ballparks in Major League Baseball. They have what they call triple alley, where sometimes you hit a ball in a specific area, you don't know where it's going to bounce off of. And in the top of the ninth, bottom of the ninth, you saw the Giants hit a ball that no matter where the outfielders position themselves, it ricocheted where it was an easy inside the park 3-run home run. In fact, take a listen to last night.
Patrick hits a high drive, deep right center field. This one is off the top of the wall, and it ricochets, and it's rolling on the warning track. 2 runs are in. Bailey coming around third. Patrick Bailey scores!
Dude.
It's an inside the park walk-off home run!
That's a rarity, an inside the park walk-off home run. So congrats to the Giants, but, you know.
Those calls are so funny.
Equally,
guys totally losing it. I love it.
Equally important, here is what I think is the tire rack play of the day.
Soto waiting. First pitch. Swinging a sharp shot up the middle. Base hit into center field for Soto. Here comes Lindor. No throw. Lindor scores standing up, and the Mets strike first in the 10th. Soto makes it 7-6. Easy pickings. Base hit up the middle.
Soto, baby. He is the hottest player in baseball after a rough start for over 40 years. That is your tire rack play of the day, courtesy of the Mets Radio Network. They won 7-6. They were down 6-2 in that game. In the 8th inning, Lindor, 2-run home run. Polar Bear Pete, 2-run home run. And then Soto with the extra innings hit. And again, Tire Rack helping customers find the right tires for how, where, and where they drive. Ship fast and free, backed by free road hazard protection. Convenient installation options, mobile tire installation, all at TireRack.com, the way tire buying should be.
Tire Rack. Now, speaking of baseball, you had Covino and Rich back at our regular time. We were in for Dan Patrick. Be sure to catch the podcast if you missed it. Search Covino and Rich and our best of and all that fun stuff. There's a story about, well, a guy who I think is fat and lazy. How about that?
Oh, jeez.
Because he really is. He really is fat. But that doesn't make him not good. Rafael Devers. Rafael Devers, you guys remember the controversy of how it just seemed like overnight out of nowhere the Red Sox dished him. And the story was because he refused to play first base. He didn't want to play any other position. I could be hing. I'm the third base. He said he was a natural third baseman, but he was told he'd be a DH. And when they needed him at first, they're like, nope. So they got rid of him and sent him to the Giants. And when he went to the Giants, he said he'd play wherever they needed him.
Well, listen, a lot of people at first were tough on Devers, and they realized, listen, the Red Sox sort of did him a little dirty. They made this public. They were sort of they weren't the coolest about this.
Yeah, in fact, for the record, I also defended him too because it's like, man, this is the MLB. You just can't go out there and play a different position. I said first base is a skill position. It's not like he could go out there and just figure it out. It's going to take some time. And who wants to step into a different spot on a main stage like that and fail? It really wasn't fair to Devers. But you got to be a team player at the same time.
Here's the update. So he's willing to play first base for the Giants now. But the funny part is the Giants enlist team legend and I guess consultant for the team and loudmouth podcaster Will the Thrill Clark to sort of advise and give advice to Devers.
But how cool is that? That's what's important about history and legacy and legends. Will Clark is not a Hall of Famer.
I also want to keep saying Will Smith.
Well, yeah, I see you rubbed it off on me.
I'm sorry. Will Clark.
I saw Rich mouthy. Will Clark is not a Hall of Famer, but I think he should be. And I think he should be respected. Is he a big loudmouth on his podcast? Whammy, Will Clark, whammy. Yeah, he is. But he was trying to help out Rafael Devers. And Rafael Devers snubbed him and stood him up 3 times. You don't do that to your elders. Respect your elders, respect the legends.
And Will Clark responded in the most eye-rolling way. We're going to play the audio next, and we'll discuss on CNR. Hang tight.